Hi everyone, welcome to the Hair Loss Show. Good to see you, Vikram.
Good to see you, Russell. Today's episode we're going to talk about our old friend finasteride. We've gone through finasteride a number of times in a number of different ways, but specifically talking about topical finasteride now, because I think that's, a lot of people, there's a lot of data to support the use of topical finasteride, the safety profile of that, but specifically using that in women. Have you got a lot of experience with topical finasteride?
I've got some experience with it, more in men than women.
Yeah.
In men,
it is an off-label.
Well,
use.
it is in women.
Yes,
right?
yes.
In men, finasteride for hair loss is not an off-label use, but formulating it into a topical solution or a gel isn't really off-label, but it's an alternative variation. And in men, we do it for only two or three reasons. The first reason is the patient's had side effects from oral finasteride, but still wants to try and get the benefit of it. Thereby taking it topically, perhaps less absorption, less chance of getting side effects. That's one reason. The other reason people like topical finasteride is because they feel, even though they've never used it, that it's just a safer alternative for them. And so it comes from them. It's not my first choice. I still would offer oral finasteride as my first choice to my men. For women, I do oral finasteride. That is off-label.
Yes.
But I like to do it in a situation where there's appropriate contraception. Originally, finasteride in women was trialled in postmenopausal women, which is the population that's least likely to respond. So we're not surprised about the response we got there. But what we found in our younger women, if we use low-dose oral finasteride, in combination with minoxidil, for example, and a receptor blocker, which is spironolactone, bicalutamide, the things we've talked about before, that triple therapy seems to work very, very well. And I'm getting better results from my women than I've ever got. So topical finasteride is a good alternative for women, but the big but is women don't much like using topical products in their hair. Because of the formulation is either sticky, greasy, it's difficult to style their hair, and it's just fiddly. So I think there are, a specific patient population who is going to want it. We certainly have better data now that suggests that if you get the percentage of the lotion or the gel correct, it can mimic the effect. And hopefully, diminish the risk of systemic absorption, which women are a little bit careful about because they don't want to have finasteride in the system if they get pregnant.
Yes.
And that doesn't always happen in a planned way.
So I think that it's very interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of our male patients come to us having done a lot of research, been online, and there's a lot of sort of some baggage concerning the side effects of finasteride. So you'll get, and I'm sure you've experienced as well, a lot of male patients more inclined to, or certainly concerned about taking finasteride, whereas female patients less sort of aware of the issues.
As long as you can reassure them about the pregnancy angle. And the animal studies, I've said this once before, the animal studies are so outrageously over the top that in the 25 years that finasteride's been used, as far as I'm aware and you are aware, there's never been a case of an abnormality in a male child linked to finasteride. It's just technically exquisitely difficult to think that could happen with the doses that we give to people. So, but that said, I always want my women to understand that unfortunately nature sometimes produces abnormalities, and I want them to have a clear conscience. They didn't, so I wouldn't. I'd be telling them to stop their topical finasteride a month before they attempted a pregnancy.
So the same is true. The same advice will hold true with the topical as it would with
exactly,
oral.
And that I want it out of their system so that at least they can have a clear conscience.
Yes.
That they didn't have anything in their system that was potentially going to create a problem.
So it's an option there. Again, I
don't know how popular it's going to be because, again, I think it's an issue. A lot of women just don't like using topical products. But it certainly is an alternative, and it appears to have good efficacy if we get the dosing right.
And also, again, depends on the formulation and how where it's made as well.
Because there are no ones that are made and just generally available, you actually have to custom make them all the time.
Perfect. So yes, that's certainly an option there. Hope you found that useful. Thank you again for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks, everyone.